It's sick to have you. We've got Cam Dog. You've done a lot for me, and you know how much I appreciate that. You sent me a message when you were working with Swick that time, and I got so gassed. You don't understand how gassed I was. And then I just literally ran to the studio.
Man wanna know how my mind works. Told man just how my mind works. Don't apply pressure if I'm divert. In a grind beat, got a grind verse. Guess that makes man.
You're making me get my lyric book out.
So neat, man.
I ain't a rapper who want chat a bunch of waffle batter. Always the victor, yeah, well, Lindelof's my doppelganger. Name a camera tune that's not a banger. I mean, the beat was the meal I just sprinkled on the coriander. Pen is my one, never linked up with no Ollivander. She says she wanna suck it like a Jolly Rancher. Not a chance, so we didn't go for coffee after. You know I read the truth just like a polygrapher. Use my Supreme shirt to dry the dishes. Know my team do dirt, then fly Mauritius. Sun hat on, looking like I'm fly fishing. Praying on my downfall, family will die wishing. Eye for an eye, I won't be the one, but this eye missing. Levels between us way more than the height difference. My pittance way more than the price given. My pittance way more than the price given. A pittance is a small amount of money that someone is paid for their services.
Oh! How you doing, bro? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm all right. I've got a little home set up with a mic and a couple of bits. Been working out, like home workouts, going for runs, cooking a lot, playing a lot of Xbox, I have to say. Been banging out Warzone a lot. I've been going on YouTube and looking at ways to get your vocals nice without good equipment. When you are truly like a person who likes to create things, no matter what it is, I might find myself drawing, writing something that's not music or a video idea. In this time where you haven't got that much of an outer influence in terms of things you see and things you're absorbing apart from your TV, it really does challenge all the little receptors in your brain that conjure up ideas. There's no everyday occurrences that might trigger something. It's more so what you can make with your imagination.
How did you first get into music?
I think it was year 6, summer holidays. There was a kid who I went to school with who was one of my good friends called Khalil. His cousin was spitting bars in a crew in a secondary school that we was all going to go to. It never occurred to me that I should rap. We had these tunes, all like just straight 8-bar rallies that were going around on phones. You find an instrumental off LimeWire in it, and everyone would there come to the park with our little 8-bar, play it on one phone. The most newbie recording technique ever. So you play it on one phone and then you voice record it on the other phone. You can't flop or else you have to start the whole recording. That's the first time I wrote bars. In year 7, me and my friends had a little crew. Our MC names were so whack. Like mine wasn't even kamakaze. Mine was a little Robin, innit? From there, just kept doing the same thing. Record it on a mic into audio recorder on Windows when you found a little PlayStation mic or something. First time I ever went in a studio, I was in year 8. And we had this new music teacher, and he was like, if you guys want to rap, like, just come at lunch, innit? And then I started the next crew after that because I was starting to get better and better at it. We were called TBS, and that was just straight grimy. And then like a renaissance period where I started writing more expressive stuff. It weren't just spray man up and shank and this and that.
The thing about you is that obviously you can shell on grime, and then you've also got Cold Side of the Pillow, for example, which is full of songs where it's hip hop and you've got a whole different side to you. I remember when we were in the studio at Red Bull and then you just did this hip hop track.
One thing that I feel like the music industry in England anyway does to people is they box them up in it. They say, yo, you're going to be this and you do that in it. And I've never done that. When I was younger, I used to listen to my parents' music, which is like reggae and soul and funk and blues. I've always liked music with acoustic guitars. I always liked Oasis. I've always kept different influences in my music of what I take inspiration from, because I think otherwise everything gets a bit muddy and similar.
If you're listening to something that you don't fully understand, I feel like that reflects back.
I try and listen to people who can do things that I can't do.
I've seen a few ciphers of you back in the day. You were cold from day one. At what point did it become serious?
So when I was like 16, we started a crew called BLG. Made like mixtapes and stuff. This is like 2009. We made this little crew. We made a lot of music together. There was 3 other MCs in the group, and they helped me get better because on songs, like naturally, you're going to try and outdo the next person and they're going to say something and you're like, shit. We had a little bit of traction locally by the time we was like 19. Even though I was hard, I wasn't getting a lot of recognition because I was white and weren't really from the same ends as the people who was deemed to be sick.
What were they like, your gigs that you put on?
We had a guy called Jamie Joseph, who was a soul singer. We had a guy called Marcus Joseph, which was a saxophonist. We had, it was at a pub called The Donkey, which has always been historic in Leicester. We supported 4 Owls, supported Dirty Diet. BLG started going a little bit like level. Like we'd gone like that for a while. We're at a bit of a cul-de-sac here. Everyone's forking in different directions in terms of style. It was around that time JDZ happened. That just went nuts.
I've been about since Kamakaze, since Road Deep made Heartache Avenue. See, I'm a big dog, no, I'm not scrappy dude. Them man are weak spirited like Malibu. I'm more than nice, Morgan Spice, head up in the clouds, Northern Lights, it's the next thing, head spin. Warrior, I'm Redskin, I am the shit that you stepped in.
Within the crew, it wasn't really going anywhere at that point. People were starting to move away to university, people were having kids. From then, it's kind of just gone like that, steady incline. I've just basically tried to keep the levels consistent. I feel like for 5 years, I've consistently outdone myself, and people are starting to pay attention to it. The names that I get mentioned with in terms of like lyricists that are people that I've always looked up to.
Things that make you stand out is your clarity. Your lyrics are insane. You've inspired me a lot. So you've got your grime side, and then you've got a different side to you. I really respect it as well, because you talk about your emotions.
But Cold Side of the Pillow was a weird one for me, because that was a year of my life. So when I first broke into the scene by your grime MC, that was when I just made Cold Side of the Pillow, and it didn't really make sense to drop it. We released it in like 2018, but it came out in 2015.
Oh.
Cold Side of the Pillow is all produced by one guy, and the mood of the tape is very set from the off. Like, it's not particularly upbeat.
The lyrical work on that tape is insane though.
Sometimes you say the most when you say the least. The best example of it is someone like Mike Skinner. Ebony Orchid was written about a girl I saw on a train. Like, I never even spoke to her. Do you know what I mean?
It's the projection of emotions though, isn't it?
The last song on it is Who You Are, and that was written about one of my friends who basically had a problem with taking MDMA.
The reason why I say it's underrated is because it comes from a really true place, and you can hear that straight away.
It would fall under the bracket kind of rapper that Loyal Kana is. Soft, honest, emotional rapper that everyone didn't know that they needed, kind of thing. That tape kind of fits into that bracket of style. This is going to be very honest, going to be words that you can relate to on about 90 beats per minute. If I'd have dropped that tape with better timing, at a different time, it might have been something more. At the same time, it might have detracted from the fact that I was a leading grime MC.
There's not a lot of grime people that put out tapes like that. People tend to kind of get into a box of grime, especially. You've gone around it. Royal Rumble's just come out as well.
That's a big tape, I'm not going to lie. We did it in a short amount of time, 6 till 12 on 3 nights. One thing that I said to the lads as well, I didn't realise how good those guys were at what they do until you're live in the flesh and it comes to creating something out of nothing in an hour. Eyes has always been an inspiration to me, because he was the only person from near where I was from that was gaining traction like nationwide. Man used to listen to his JDZs and be like, yeah, like, that's some hard shit. Let me tell you how it went anyway. The first song, On Fire, Zoo kind of executive produced the song, and he just said, look, 24s, let's just spray this out and we'll change the beat up. And he kind of directed Crafty in what direction to go. Like, it was out my face. And that came from Eyes doing a hook. Pay the Fee happened, and I had that 8-bar, if you always play for free, that I just had it as a little thing that I thought would kind of go off in a rave kind of thing. And I was like, you know what, this tune is actually like a proper grimy old school. Like,
yeah, it is old school.
It was a bit more storytelling than just spray, 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 spray. And obviously it's something that most grime MCs can at least relate to, is the fact that, yo, people will try to stiff you out of £50 and we need to be paid for what we do. So that was the subject to that one. Then 180 was just like, yo, let's spit bars. Scheming. Eyes had recorded his chorus as his verse, and we were like, you know what, that's so hard that we're just gonna use it as the hook, and that's gonna be the all came together within 10 hours of work. And it was just like, you've got your subject, spit your bars in it. The best part about it was the competition within it. Like, man don't want to say that like you were trying to spin the man next to you because it was a collaborative project, but at the same time nobody wants to get styled on.
But there's a good competitive edge to it.
No one can say that they didn't do their thing on it. The best part about it for me was that my friends were saying to me, raw, Zoo spun you on that tune, I spun you on that tune, but you spun them on this tune.
Because you're all strong MCs.
People always saying, oh, Grime's dead, Grime's this, Grime's that. How about everyone just shuts up and makes some music? And that's the kind of inspiration and the purpose that Zoo came with. He was like, yo, everyone's doing up chatting, everyone's saying, fucking, Grime's dead, we're dead, this is that. But no one's dropping any hard tunes. So let's just go drop the hardest mixtape of the year and then let everyone talk about how Grime's dead, because they ain't going to say it once we're out there. Grime's been dead before, do you know what I mean? It's been resurrected.
Yeah, it's underground right now.
You can never take away from the people holding the flags. Wax was doing the engineering. Swick was obviously there putting his beats. Everyone who took part in it did their part to the best of their ability.
So BLG and Memories remix, there's a nostalgic air about them.
I'd released Jon Snow. Admittedly, I made a mistake because I was trying to imitate what man were putting out at the time, which was like hard, the baby style beat, but it didn't really come off. And I was like, And one of my boys said to me, yo, why are you making tunes for next man? For randomers, innit? Trying to do what they want you to do. Like, bro, shut up, man. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Then I said, like, I might as well just make a song about the man them then. And then I made Desi Shots with Mass Appeals. That song is literally about two of my boys who are both Indian. And when I used to link up with them, we used to get a bottle. If you ain't got mixer, Desi Shots in it, just back it with a bit of water. And then I heard the beat for BLG with Swick. This song's pretty much right in itself. Don't try and overcomplicate things. Do you know who inspired me on that song? Novelist.
It's his simplicity, because I noticed that you had a certain simplicity in that song which isn't in your other songs, which works. Usually, while you'd have multi-syllabic rhyming in other songs, you rhyme in one word.
Syllables rhyming.
Sometimes that works, bro. Sometimes that works, and there it works. I'm starting to warm up to that. It makes it more valuable when you do rhyme multi-syllabically.
Yeah, you have to do it at certain points. The most complex part of that song is the chorus. That just came to me like nothing. The beat just said it for me. You've done it on that, did it on a low. You can't get in my feelings because my feelings.
Oh yeah.
You have to have them bits that everyone can say, and if everyone can say the whole song, then it's even better. Memories was off the back of doing BLG. I decided that I was going to put out a tape called Memories Over Money. You're the first person I've told that to. There's a little exclusive for your channel. They'll have a mixtape out later in the year, in like September. Memories is going to be on it because I had songs that I'm going to put out, but also this lockdown's kind of flopped a few of them because they were more hearty, kind of want to be out enjoying them kind of songs. The whole nostalgic thing was basically just a tribute to my friends.
How the hell do you manage both things, man? Just for people watching.
Cam is a professional footballer for Dagenham and Redbridge Football Club.
How do you maintain it, man?
I'm not going to lie and say it's easy because it's not.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I tried to do was boil down and edit all the things that I do within my life. The amount of time that I spent doing things that weren't really going to prosper or get me anywhere. I spent too much time watching TV or spent too much time playing Xbox or spent too much time playing pool or at the pub or whatever. If you kind of solidify and boil down the things that are important to you, if you can count them on one hand, it's a good start. Football, music, my missus, my friends, my family. And that's all I need. If you're going to chill out for a bit, you're chilling out for an hour and then you're going back to writing, or then you're going back to recording, or then you're going back to going for a run or chilling with your missus in the other room.
You're quite a logical person.
I'd like to think that I am. I'd like to think that process should win. Use your head rather than your heart or your dick or whatever you fucking use as a fucking navigational tool. The process of elimination through logic is probably the best one that you're going to get. More so than anything is keeping my mental well-being above board. The thing that dictates every single thing that you do is your brain. And if your brain isn't well, then the rest of the things that you're trying to do ain't going to be as good.
In your bar, it's very clear. It's logical. Your rhymes are logical. Very concise, that's the word. Your rhymes multisyllabically is something in particular that has inspired me and I'm sure inspires a lot of other people. You can definitely hear your influence in certain UK artists.
I feel like I can as well. The best MC in the country, in my opinion, is J Hut. It's very obvious that one of his main influences was 50 Cent. I was very heavily influenced by people like Kano. There are MCs have personally told me that they listen to me and then I listen to them and I think, yeah, I can see a bit of me in you. I can see a bit of myself in people, like, and they're all outstanding MCs by their own right, innit? Songer,
yeah,
yourself, Jafro. I'm proud of that.
Being from Leicester, how that influenced things. Obviously, when most stuff was going on in London.
London for a long time was quite protective of the grime because it was theirs, their sound, and reflected their lives. You weren't as certified if you weren't a London spitter. Over the years, people from Leicester, that's why I said Eyes was such an inspiration, because he's from Derby, that's like a small city. The hardest part of it is, coming out of an environment with no role models or people who have laid bricks before you. You're literally starting a road from scratch.
Now you're that guy from Leicester.
You can't see where you're going because no one's been there before. There's areas in which you can say, yo, okay, them man done it, so I can do it. But no one from Leicester's gone and done it. Leicester seems stronger than it's ever been. You got JB Schofield who's doing big things. You got like people like Trilly. You got Jafro. You got me. Something that I feel very proud of. Has it hindered me? I feel like slightly, but is it a problem? No.
Safe Cam, yeah? We'll catch you soon.
Bless
Catch you soon, bro. See ya.